Anya here, and I'm back with another video for Ophelia Talks. And in this video today we are making a granny square. Now you know, in the series of make one or make two, this is one of those videos. So today I'm going to show you how to make a granny square. I know that's quite simple, but towards the end of the video, or even in the middle, you will find out how many squares you have to make and what you already have to do with them. So we are making 2 panels with these squares. So do keep an eye out for what you have to be ready for, so that in the next video we can get started straight away on what we are going to be making, because there's quite a bit of work this time. So without further ado, let me show you how to make a granny square. So for this project I used King Cole Cotton Soft, and I used some colours that I really liked and then I thought would go together. So for the squares itself I used the following colours: Iris, Sage, Mulberry, Dusky, Fudge, Midnight and Rose Petal. And then to crochet it all together and to create the bag I used Ecru. We have all these colours on our website, so do go and have a look. So let me show you how to make the square. Now yes, it's a normal granny square, but I still wanted to show you because of course that's what we do in this series here. So let's make a granny square. So I'm using the Cotton Soft, which is DK. Insert my hook, which is a 3.5. This yarn is normally for a 4 hook, but for me, for my tension, I have to use a 3.5. So you do your slip knot, insert your hook, and you chain 4. 2, 3 and 4. Then you go to the first chain you did, go into it. With a little bit of help from your nail, that should work, or at least it works for me. Then you bring through the working yarn and you also bring it through the loop on your hook. And then you're going to chain 2, 1 and 2. Now we are going to place double crochets into this circle. So you yarn over, into the circle, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And we're making a second one. There we go. So now we have essentially a cluster of 3 double crochets. This chain 2 that we do at the beginning counts as a double crochet. Now we do a chain 2 for our corner. And then we are going to create more clusters, and they all go into this circle here. So yarn over, insert into the circle, and you place there a cluster of 3 double crochets. So 1, 2 and 3. There we go. So that's my second cluster. Now we make another corner of 2 chains and we do a third cluster of 3 double crochets. There we go. So we have 3 double crochets. We need to do another chain of 2 for our corner, and now we need a 4th cluster, because of course a square has 4 sides. So really we have made the 4 sides of our square already, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have created 1, 2, 3 corners. So now one more chain 2 for our 4th corner. Then we go over to that first cluster that we did, skipping the 2 chains here, and we go under this V and we do a slip stitch. There we go, and that closes the round. So now, of course, yeah, we are going to be cutting off our yarn because we are changing color. So I generally pull through my yarn, and to make an invisible end, you go under the next V, you pull back the yarn, and then you pull it also through that V that it's coming out of. There we go, and you give it a little bit of a tug and you can't see that you finished that. So this is the center of my square. Now, generally, when I do color work like this, I have a little system going. So I need to make, for this project, you also need to make 18 squares. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colors here. The 7th color, my ecru, is going to be for joining everything together. So that will come into play later on. But if you're making a certain number of squares and you have a certain number of colors, then it makes sense that first of all, you make all the centers. So 18 divided by 6 is 3. So I used each color 3 times for a center. Then you can start swapping things about and use each color 3 times for a second round. Okay, and then so on. Now I have to admit I did lose the plot somewhere, but it's always nice to have a plan when you start. Okay, so we're going to do a slip knot to start our second round. Insert your hook, and I am going to take up my project that I've already made, so the center of my square, and I'm going to get started into a corner. So you yarn over as if you were already crocheting, and you make a double crochet, and you make 2 more, because we are going to do a corner in here, and a corner is made up of 3 double crochets, so 1 cluster, 2 chains, and another 3 double crochets into that same corner space. There we go. See, so we've made a corner. So now we're going to repeat this sequence another 3 times, making our 4 corners. So I've just finished my round here. As you can see, I have 4 corners, and now I'm going to close my round by going under the first V that I see there, because this one here closes up for me. So I'm just going to do a slip stitch there. So this is the end of round 2. And again, same thing, I'm going to pull out my yarn and I'm going to just do that little trick so it goes to the back and it is secured a little bit, but yes, you will have to sew in the ends when you have finished. There we go. So now for the third round. So I am going to do exactly the same thing as before. I'm going to make my slip knot, insert my hook, and this time we are again getting started in a corner, because that's easy and you know what to do. We make corners. So once again we are making our standing double crochet, then another 2 double crochets, 2 chains, and then another 3 double crochets into that same corner chain space. There we go. But now, as you can see, we have a side to do here as well. Our square has grown and we also have to do a cluster on the side. So let's do that, and we work in between the 2 clusters of the previous round. There we go. So 3 double crochets right there. And then off we go, doing our repeat again of a corner and a side, a corner and a side, a corner and a side. I will see you when you have made it all around your square. So I've just done my last cluster. I am now going to skip this one here because it's closed up, go under the next V, and we close the round with a slip stitch. And there we have it. That is a square that I have made 18 times. So for this project I have made 18 granny squares of 3 rounds, and there is no rhyme or reason to the colors. I just chose colors as I felt like it. So now I'm going to try and arrange them in 2 panels of 9 squares, 3 by 3. So now, using the ecru color, we're going to turn this into this. So I've used the continuous join method. I've only got 2 ends here, I have joined them the way I have shown you in my technique video, so do go and have a look at that. And of course now I have to make the second one.
And here we are. I have made 2 panels of 9 squares each, and I think they look wonderful.
So for this project that we are making on Friday, you will need a couple of more things. So do have a look at this. So I have here what they call webbing. It's that strap that you find on handbags as well. So that's a really nice thick strap, doesn't stretch. Then I have these rings here for attaching the strap and to be able to adjust the length of the strap. So I'll show you how to use those as well. You will need your sewing needle and thread and or your sewing machine. So of course I'm going to be using my sewing machine. If you do not have a sewing machine, you can do all of this by hand as well. Then I have here my fabric scissors, because I do like to use those when I'm using fabric because it makes the cutting so much nicer. I have here what I call sort of unbleached cotton. It's just a standard cotton, but I am going to use that for my lining together with my foam stabilizer that I have here. So I bought this foam stabilizer especially for stiffening up bags. So you make your bag, the outer and the inner, and then you put this in between, and then your bag will stand up. I will put a link down below for this, but it does make a world of difference if you use this in your project, especially with crochet, because it does sag, and this will create a professional finish for our bag. So I haven't cut these two yet, the lining and the stabilizer, because I need to know first how big my crochet panels are going to be. So you will also need a zip, which is just as wide as your bag opening,
And this one is 12 inches. Then I also used a ready-made pencil case, which I adhered to the inside of my lining to create a little pocket on the inside.
Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!